After many years of watching people and going through my own ups and downs, I've come to realize a harsh truth. Most people don't fail because they're stupid, unlucky, or even because they lack opportunities. The truth is, everyone gets opportunities in life, and every person has some kind of talent or strength. But the one thing that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck is discipline. I've met people who are incredibly smart, full of great ideas, with plans that sound amazing when you hear them. But do you know what usually happens? They start strong, full of energy, but when things get tough, they quit. They don't have the discipline to push through the hard part. Instead, they give themselves excuses. I'm tired today, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start when I feel motivated. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. If you wait for motivation, you'll never get very far. There's a phrase you've probably heard 1,000 times. I'll do it tomorrow. It sounds harmless. But in reality, that tomorrow almost never comes. One delay leads to another, and before you know it, procrastination becomes a habit, a lifestyle. And when you finally stop to look back, you realize you've wasted months, maybe even years, without making any real progress. I remember a friend of mine who always told me he wanted to write a book. His idea was brilliant, one of those concepts that could inspire people. He even bought notebooks, a new laptop, special software, everything he needed to get started. But guess what? Weeks turned into months, months into years, and that book never got written. Why? Because every time he thought about it, he told himself, I'll start tomorrow, when I have more time, when I'm in the right mood. But that tomorrow never came. The people who succeed don't wait for inspiration to knock on their door. They act, even when they don't feel like it. They move forward, even when things aren't perfect. That's the difference. Success or failure doesn't come down to how much talent or opportunity you have. It comes down to whether you have the discipline to keep showing up and doing the work, no matter how you feel. Discipline is the foundation of all success. If life were a house, then discipline would be the foundation beneath it. Without that foundation, no matter how many floors you build or how beautiful the design is, the house will eventually collapse. Talent and opportunities are like valuable materials, good wood, strong steel, fine stone. But without discipline to put them together, to build piece by piece each day, they remain unused, and over time, they decay into nothing. I've seen countless young people full of talent, smarter than most, with no shortage of opportunities. Yet only a few years later, many of them have gone nowhere, simply because they lacked one thing: discipline. They start fast, but can't sustain the pace. Each year becomes the same cycle: excitement in the beginning, quitting in the middle, disappointment at the end. And when they look back, they realize they've been standing in the same spot for years of their life. Successful people are different. They know inspiration is a luxury, something you can't rely on. Nobody wakes up every morning overflowing with energy and excitement for work. But they do it anyway, because they understand one simple truth: if you don't act, you fail. I once read a story about a famous writer. Someone asked him, "How do you manage to write so many great books? Do you always feel inspired?" He smiled and replied, "I only write when I feel inspired. Fortunately, inspiration shows up every day, at 8 a.m., when I sit down at my desk." What he meant was this: success doesn't come from waiting for inspiration. It comes from discipline, showing up every day, whether you feel like it or not. Look at any great example. Athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, they all have one thing in common. They treat discipline like breathing. They don't work only when it's fun. They work because it's necessary. And that discipline is what creates consistency, and consistency is what produces results. Discipline is not a chain that restricts you. It's the bridge that takes you from dreams to achievements. Without it, you'll always stand on this side, staring at the other side, wondering why you never got there. After many years of observation, experiencing both failures and successes myself, I've realized one very clear truth: The biggest difference between winners and losers is not talent and it's not luck. It's discipline. Winners take action even when they don't feel like it, even when they're tired, frustrated, or completely unmotivated. Losers, on the other hand, find excuses to delay. Today isn't the right time. I'll start when I'm ready. Or, I'll do it when I feel more motivated. Think about David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL. He doesn't run for hours every day because he enjoys it. He does it because he refuses to let himself be weak. He knows that if he waited for inspiration, he would never push past his limits. Kobe Bryant was the same. He didn't wake up at 4 a.m. to train because it was fun. He did it because he knew that only through discipline could he rise above his competitors. In a world where everyone has talent, discipline is what creates the real difference. Or consider Jocko Willink, also a former Navy SEAL. He often posts pictures of his watch at 4:30 a.m. Many people think he's showing off, but in reality, it's a reminder. Discipline isn't a one-time act. It's a lifestyle. Even in ancient times, samurai trained every day, not because there was a battle every day, but because they understood a harsh truth. Lack of discipline meant death. For them, discipline was not just strength, it was survival. Now look around at your own daily life. Disciplined people move forward step by step. Even small steps, over time, create steady progress. Those who lack discipline remain stuck, fumbling, and years later, they are often in the same place. Winners aren't necessarily more talented than you, they just act when you make excuses. Discipline is the clearest line that separates winners from losers. And that line isn't drawn by anyone else. It's up to you to decide which side you will stand on. Discipline is not something distant or innate. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained day by day, step by step. It doesn't come from a single burst of determination. It comes from small, repeated, consistent actions. Here's how I've guided people and applied it myself, broken down into 5 practical steps. 1. Innate the option to quit. The moment you tell yourself, I will do this, treat it as a done deal. Don't allow room for debate or hesitation. The moment you give yourself the choice to quit, your weaker side will win. Stop saying, maybe I won't, or I'll think about it later. Once you commit, there's no turning back. 2. Start small but stay consistent. Discipline doesn't demand that you change your entire life overnight. Instead, begin with small daily actions you can maintain consistently. Wake up at the same time, exercise for 10 minutes, read a few pages of a book instead of scrolling your phone. These small steps, repeated over time, build unstoppable momentum. Many fail because they try to do too much too soon and get discouraged. The key is one step at a time every day, not racing ahead too fast. 3. Don't rely on feelings. Many people say, I'll do it when I feel like it. Life doesn't run on feelings. There will be days when you're tired, unmotivated, or simply don't want to do anything. And that's exactly when discipline is most important. You act not because you want to, but because it needs to be done. Disciplined people understand that feelings are temporary, but action creates lasting results. 4. Commemorate discomfort. Whenever something feels hard, that's not a reason to quit. It's a sign that you are growing. Discomfort, fatigue, and frustration are all indicators that you are pushing past your limits. The undisciplined avoid pain, but winners welcome it as a natural part of growth. 5. Track progress and take responsibility. Write down your actions, confront your failures, and hold yourself accountable for what you didn't do. If you skipped a habit today, note it. Being honest with yourself prevents excuses and pushes you to correct course. Over time, your brain begins to value the feeling of overcoming challenges, reinforcing your discipline. These steps may seem simple, but applied consistently over weeks and months, they make a profound difference. Discipline doesn't just help you achieve goals, it develops mental strength, patience, and self-control that carry over into every area of life. Discipline is not just about actions, it starts with mindset. To truly become someone who achieves great things, you must do what is necessary, not what is comfortable. Life will never wait for you to feel ready, and the easy path leads nowhere. One of the most important skills you can develop is emotional control. Instead of letting your feelings dictate your actions, learn to direct them. Tired, frustrated, or unmotivated. That's normal. Winners push through anyway. Weakness comes from surrendering to how you feel. Strength comes from choosing what must be done regardless. I remember a famous quote from Mike Tyson. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That is the mindset of a champion. It's about transforming struggle into routine, turning pain into fuel. When you approach challenges this way, even the hardest days become stepping stones. Think about it. The more you embrace discomfort, the less it controls you. A small difficulty that once stopped you will feel manageable. You'll discover a resilience you never knew you had. When facing obstacles instead of avoiding them, you start to welcome them as opportunities to grow. Over time, you'll notice a remarkable change. You become several times stronger simply because you trained your mind to thrive under pressure. This mindset isn't something you adopt once. It's cultivated daily. Every time you choose what's necessary over what's easy, every time you control your emotions instead of letting them control you, you strengthen the mental armor that separates winners from everyone else. By now, you've probably realized something important. In life, we really only have two choices. 1. Stay weak, keep making excuses, delay action, and watch others move ahead while you remain stuck. 2. Charo 75. Act now, regardless of how you feel, and take control of your life. There is no middle ground. There is no shortcut. You cannot wait for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. Success comes to those who act, not to those who plan endlessly or wait for inspiration. If you want to start today, right now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Begin with small, actionable steps that build mental toughness and create momentum. Wake up earlier than usual and resist hitting the snooze button. That simple act sets the tone for the entire day and trains your mind to prioritize discipline over comfort. Take a cold shower. It's uncomfortable, even shocking at first, but it strengthens your willpower and teaches you to embrace discomfort rather than avoid it. Move your body. Go for a walk, a run, or a simple exercise. Physical action reinforces mental strength, proving that you are capable of pushing through resistance. Do what needs to be done without making excuses. Whether it's work, study, or personal growth, don't wait until you feel like it. Action is the only path forward. Every time you take these small steps, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts and excuses. Over time, these actions accumulate, and the person you become is not someone who waits for life to happen. They are someone who creates it, one disciplined choice at a time. Remember, discipline is not a one-time event. It's a way of life, cultivated every day. Each decision to act, even in discomfort or fatigue, builds your mental armor, shaping a version of yourself that is unstoppable, resilient, and ready for anything. After many years of observing life, experiencing failures and successes, I've learned one clear lesson. Discipline is not a momentary spark or a sudden burst of motivation. It is a way of life. It is built through daily decisions, repeated actions, and choices you make even when you are tired, frustrated, or have no desire to do anything at all. Every day you have the opportunity to prove who you are. You can continue finding excuses, delaying, and watching others move forward, or you can take action, even one small step, but with full determination. Winners don't wait for miracles. They create results through disciplined actions, day after day. Remember, the habits you build today shape the person you become in months and years to come. Every morning you wake up on time, every time you choose to do the hard thing instead of avoiding it, every moment you control your emotions instead of letting them control you, all of it adds up to create extraordinary change. And finally, I want to leave you with one question to reflect on. Today, which path will you choose? Will you remain weak, making excuses and standing still while life passes by? Or will you be someone who takes action, takes responsibility, and builds the strongest version of yourself, one day at a time. Life waits for no one. Time doesn't pause, and opportunities never come twice. The choice is in your hands, and the decisions you make today will shape your entire future.